Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to have to look at my notes to tell you what day it is. It is day 364. It is February 3rd, 2024, and it is 2:10 p.m. in the afternoon. Let's get started with our walk and talk. Today, I'm going to attempt to get the treadmill up to speed 2.4. I decided to try to just slowly increase the speed, even though I said that I wouldn't. I don't know how much that helps, but I need for this thing to be going at a good pace. Yesterday it did okay, so I'm hoping that it behaves today. Okay, so first let me incline it, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're gonna hear some squeaking, okay, because the faster this treadmill goes, the more it squeaks. Also, it is extremely windy outside, so don't be surprised if you hear something sound like it falls on my roof of my house or like something hits up against the wall. I know usually you see my reaction, I kind of jump and look this way because it catches me off guard anyway, but just know that it is probably going to be noisy. Okay, so what I've learned with this treadmill is to incline it one at a time until I get up to 15. Okay, so that should be, that's 14, that's 15. Let's close the book here. I do have some notes just in case we get to it over what's happened over the course of a week, just like the updates on my walk and everything like that. Time, things like that I usually go over. Okay, so let's see what's going to happen. Okay, so I feel like I have a rock underneath my shoe. That's not a good thing. It could just be the way that I'm walking. But let me just go ahead and see what happens. Because we all know, if I try to talk and speak and sing at the same time, my train of thought just goes right out the window, right? Okay, so don't want that to happen. Okay, we're at 1.3. One 1.5. Okay, 1.8. Two. 2.1. And I will say before I keep increasing the speed up, yesterday I was at 2.3 for almost 10 minutes before I went ahead and decided to be brave and try to get it to 2.4. So get up there a little faster than what I did yesterday. Okay, 2.2. 2.3. Let me pick up the pace here. We'll give it a couple seconds. All right, so now I'm never, you guys. Here we go. .4. Okay, is it gonna stay? We don't know. All right, so let's get this book back open. Let me walk a little faster here. You would think as long as my arms are, I wouldn't have a problem reaching the pages. Okay, so first of all, let me tell you guys, it's not that bad inside the house temperature-wise. In the two-car garage, no. But let me tell you, when I first started bringing my stuff out here, and I walked up to this door to come in here to this RV garage, you guys, the cold I could feel coming from underneath the door, just the cracks like around the door, made me not want to come in here. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm getting ready to walk into an ice box. Okay, so I could feel the cold way before I walked in here, and I was just like, why? Why on my recording day does it have to feel like I'm gonna turn into a popsicle before my video is over? But I said, go in there, because even if you don't record, you still have to walk. So here I am, and it's not too bad. Okay, now that I've gotten to moving. Okay, so my weight. Today I weighed 167.1. Yesterday I weighed 168.6. Okay, so trying to do some mental math here. I went down almost a pound in between yesterday and today, right? And this weight gain thing has really kind of been, I won't say in the back of my mind, it's kind of made its way to the front. And so I thought, what do I always say? We know muscle weighs more than fat, right? So you develop muscle, muscle has weight, and that's gonna cause an increase in weight, okay? Maybe not your increase in size, right? Because you might still feel like you're slimming down. So that's one thing. But 10 to 12 pounds, you know, and then I talked about how I have symptoms of people of like when they're pregnant, and I did notice that I was gaining weight through the process of that. And you guys, I'm not talking about like 1 or 2 people, okay? I'm talking about like 3 or 4 people, maybe 5, that I've actually said, oh, this person's about 4 to 5 months, this person's about 6 months, since November, since around Thanksgiving time. Okay, so I know that sounds awkward, but I'm telling you guys, I was going down, right? Okay, and then obviously I said, well, you have so many bank days that you've made for days that you know that you can't walk in advance. You've admitted on the past few recordings that if you walked more that day, then if it was consistent, like say I had to make up a week, right? Of course, if I walk for 2 40 minutes or 3 40 minutes, I'm gonna start to see more of a weight loss faster. And when I get back to 1 day or 1 time a day, that might not happen. But to increase 10 to 12 pounds, I don't know. So, thought about the thyroids. Oh, and by the way, I've been forgetting my salt and lemon. And if you just start watching, I only do like a teaspoon, maybe a tablespoon of lemon juice. And it's not from a freshly squeezed lemon. I know you're gonna say, no, that lemon liquid in the bottle, you know, from the store, don't do that. But our concern was my food allergies and what would happen if it was just natural lemon. Like I cut the lemon, squeeze it onto the spoon, drink it every day. So I haven't switched to trying that, and I don't want to say I won't, I'll just say yet. That helps, I think, with the whole thyroid thing. So the salt, I went over, if you are allergic to seafood, then you might be low in iodine. If you're as allergic to seafood as I am, you're definitely low in iodine. And they tell you the quick, not fix, but the fastest thing you can do, I guess, easiest, is to eat table salt. It's iodized, right? Okay, so I forgot to do that for, I think, at least a good week, maybe 2 weeks. And I don't know about the salt, but that little bit of lemon juice, remember I questioned, is it contributing to a very, very small part of my weight loss? And I don't know, because I don't remember when I forgot. I just know it's been more than a week. I've also been very busy, and so, I mean, granted, I only do that when I walk, and I should be doing the salt part every day. It's like a table, not table, like a teaspoon, not even a teaspoon of salt. And I probably could do more, because they haven't tested my iodine level. But if they did, if there was a way to do that, or I should say they haven't done it recently, if it's as bad as my vitamin D, then it's awful. Okay, I'm very low, very, very low on vitamin D. And I'm gonna tell you, honestly, I tried, I think it was vitamin D or D3 by itself. Not a good idea. You're probably thinking that's not a good idea. You should know that by now. You've done enough research to know. And so there's a company that has K2 D3 pills, and I don't know if I want to start taking those again, but I can look towards food as well that has vitamin D in it, right? So I really need to start researching that because I'm super, super low, okay? You might as well say I'm vitamin D deficient. Okay, so look at my notes here. I don't think there's anything else I'm forgetting for now. We'll get to these days if we can. Okay, so I thought, let's keep going. You're gaining weight. I mean, come on now, 10 to 12 pounds. You're not eating hardly any more than what you eat, if at all. I don't eat breakfast, just out of habit. I don't like breakfast. I don't eat lunch most of the time. I don't usually eat until around 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. If I do, I try not to eat that heavy before 10 a.m. Doesn't stay down, you guys know that. And so I thought, okay, so I'm not eating. I have to say more, not a lot more. And one day, even if I eat more, the next day I'm right back to how I usually eat, right? Like once a day. So I'm not saying that can't be a part of it. Maybe I'm bloated, you know, because I noticed, oh wow, I look slim again. And the other day, I didn't. So I was like, okay, it could be like a sodium or something else, right? A lot of things contribute to weight gain. And so I said, okay, well, so far as I know, don't have any problems with my thyroids. So far as I know, the cysts of my thyroids are still shrinking. And so that's a good thing. You get that checked with a, what's that called, an ultrasound, I think? The gel and the little thing they rub on your neck. So I haven't had one of those recently, but I do know the numbers decrease because you guys know I get copies of like all my medical records, anything that I can get, even disc. Okay, so I'm pretty proactive in that sense, at least trying to look at and understand like what's going on. So I think you can have where your thyroids are overactive or they're not active enough. One's called hyper, one's called something else. I can't remember what it's called, right? But I don't have that. So I said, okay, what else? Interestingly, so let me do a time check first. Let's see, 11 minutes, 55 seconds. Okay, so I was watching a video yesterday, and it's about an hour and 25 minutes. And the channel, I think, is called, let's see, what is it? A Day of a CEO, or the Life of a CEO, or something like that, right? And the interview is of a doctor. Her name is, I think, Mary Claire Haver. I think that's how you say her name. And so the interview was with her, and she was discussing menopause, and I found it very interesting, okay, because it's not really something you think about. I mean, for some of us, I think we do, and for some of us, we don't. And then if you're on anything that stops your cycle, right, how do you tell? And I learned by a blood test. Okay, so I was told, oh, if you're on some type of birth control where you don't have a cycle, then there's other ways to tell. And I learned from this video that I watched, that's one of the ways I guess they can check. So what was interesting was the weight gain part. She said she would have women come to her and say, you know, I'm not off of my like eating routine. I don't eat any more, I don't eat any less. You know, I'm still working out. I'm exercising every day, but I'm gaining weight. And I mean, it's just gaining, right? There really is no losing. And so she was talking about premenopause, or I guess peri, right? Okay, perimenopause, menopause, and then post. And so she was saying that your menopause can be anywhere between 45 and 55. Perimenopause can start anywhere 7 to 10 years prior. So you're looking at a possibility, okay, possibility of starting perimenopause as early as the age of 35. As you guys know, I'm 42, right? So I thought, okay, that could be part of it as well. I don't know. So I thought, but I found myself saying that enough to where it's on my videos, right? I'm still gaining weight. So she talked about the loss of estrogen, the loss of testosterone, the loss of bone density, and the advice that she just gave was very simple, was to have more protein, more fiber. She discussed a specific type of fiber. So maybe what I'll do is maybe I'll share the link to, I think it's a podcast. I know I said channel earlier, but I think it's actually a podcast. So you guys can watch if you want to, and just listen to what she has to say and see if you're experiencing anything like that. Does any of it sound familiar? And if you're like me, you weren't walking around thinking, I wonder when my menopause is going to start, right? So, yeah, I said, something to think about with this whole weight gain thing, because I'm just gaining more and more weight. So, I know one of the things she said she does is that she walks on a treadmill at an incline. I don't remember her saying at what speed or what incline. And she talked about building muscle, becoming stronger when you're around that age. Okay, I would have to say, me personally, if I had known about the possibility of, okay, keyword possibility, of perimenopause at the age of 35, roughly around there, I think I would have done what she said she had to do. I believe she said, don't quote me on this, but that she started focusing on building up strength, becoming stronger, lifting weights, versus becoming skinny. Very interesting way to put that. And so I thought, you know, especially with the bone density, the possible loss of that, right? And so I thought, well, my last bone density test was some years back, and I was told I had like 98% of my bone mass or something like that. Granted, I was mid-30s though, and so I think my OBGYN said I wouldn't have to do another bone density test for like 5 or 6 years or whatever. So, yeah, but you know, once you hit the 40, here comes the annual mammograms, all this type of stuff, right? So I said, let me watch this whole video, try not to be distracted, and just listen. Okay, am I experiencing any of these things? Like she said, a lot of other things look like menopause, and sometimes it's a little hard to pick up on it at first because of that reason. And then there's the things that you normally hear. Oh, I'm not sleeping as much, I'm gaining weight, and hot and cold flashes, right? But there's more to it than that. Okay, so she goes into, like I said, talking about your muscle mass. It's important to increase that, to build up strength. She talks about the type of fiber that would be good because there's more than one type, right? And it's just really an in-depth video. And I thought, I'm thankful that she took out the time in her medical profession to start to focus on menopause as well. There's other things that she studied, other things that she's done, but she stopped and took a look at it and has some valuable information. At least I found it valuable because, I mean, I'm 42 years old and didn't really think about that. Really, honestly, probably a blood test would need to be done for it to be like a certain type of thing, to know if they can tell from a blood test of if you're in perimenopause. But it was really interesting, all the other things, like she said, mental health, just different things that it can affect. Okay, not just the hot and cold flashes and stuff like that, right? She talked about like the, let's see, what else? I'm thinking, there's something, oh, menopause itself, because there's perimenopause and then post, right? So she said, one day, you know, your body just says, I'm not gonna ovulate anymore, And if that happens for a year, that is what they call the menopause period. And then after that, you're post for the rest of your life. Okay, but all these different things can happen so far as your loss of your muscle mass, your bone density, your testosterone, your estrogen, your, and I hope I said that word right because I just thought about it. If I didn't, you know what I mean, right? Okay, so because I just thought there's another word that sounds just like it, be just my luck. It was the other word and I didn't write it down. But I think other things as well is what she discussed. And I was mainly focused on what she had to say about the weight and gaining strength and start focusing on becoming strong instead of skinny. And that kind of just like resonated with me to where a lot of the other valuable things that she said, I can't remember, especially now since this recording. My head's getting a little hot from this beanie. But, vitamin D, I did think about that for a second. I did mention about the vitamin D being super, super low because she said that's one of the first things that she looks at. Because vitamin D just like, I don't want to say, I'm not saying all the time. Remember, I'm saying if this stuff does happen, these are possibilities of what can happen. She said there's 70 possible things that can happen on record that they're aware of. And that vitamin D just, whoop. And if you're already vitamin D deficient, I mean, ouch, right? Okay, so, yeah, she talked about osteoporosis and the fractures you can get from that, and hormones and different things like that. So I would have to say, if you want to know more in depth, exactly what she discussed, because they were very structured in this interview. Okay, so she started off, I think she was questioned as to why she started to take a look at it as a doctor. And she talks about nutrition as well, okay? So she doesn't just go into like hormone therapy, replace the, now I'm really wondering if I'm saying the right word, right? Estrogen, whatever. And so she goes from that into, she's asked, okay, what is perimenopause? What is menopause? What is post? And then after that, some things that women have been worried about. If you increase the level of this, could it increase the chance of cancer and things like that? And what could be possible side effects of hormone therapy and all this other stuff, right? But like I said, I mainly kind of really zoned in on the weight part. And I am going to watch the whole video again and probably sit down with some pad and paper notes, because I made the comment to someone about menopause. This person said, oh, that was thought you're like 55 or something. And I was like, no, in between 45 and 55, and peri can start as early as 35. And the person just said, oh, yeah. I think she touched on the fact that when we get too old, it's all in your head. No, it's not. It's called perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. If that is what is going on in your body, there could be other things. Like she said, so there's different things that she tests and look at to see if that's even what you're experiencing, okay? So I would have to say I found it interesting. I did. I don't know if I'm going to do like an act with the name of that podcast behind it in the description box, like a shout out, right? I'm still learning about that. And the link, I don't know them. The person who does the podcast, the doctor, neither one. I have not contacted either one of them, nothing like that. I just found it very interesting and thought it's something I need to be looking into. Okay, and then, of course, just like working out, everything goes hand in hand. Drink enough water, right? Try and keep your metabolism up. Have enough vitamin D or enough vitamin D3, right? Either or both. If it works like zinc, don't quote me on this, but I believe what I've learned from the research I've done and from what I've been told, that zinc is so powerful that if you're doing supplements, then you don't want to eat foods that are high in zinc and vice versa. Okay, so I would have to say probably the obvious reason would be the fact that it's such a strong supplement or whatever you want to call it that you can overdo it. But I mean, it's just like everything else, right? And I don't know what problems it could cause, but I'm just giving an example. Okay, so vitamin D, I don't know if it works the same. Should you, if you can do both, should you decrease the milligrams of vitamin D, or however it's measured, because they have other measurements, right? And try to do more foods with vitamin D, or let's just say, for some reason you can't, let's say you're allergic to the food, right? And so, if you're gonna do the supplement more, if you would increase milligrams, and if there's only a couple of foods you can eat that, I guess, increase your level of vitamin D. Okay, so where's the balance? Is what you have to find out, because, like she said, the response to this process, the menopause itself, the post, is going to be different for different people, right? Different women. So, yeah, pretty cool. We're 25 minutes and 20 seconds. So I'm not sure what we're going to title this video. I don't know if I'm going to call it my overall general thoughts of menopause. I'm not going to say I'm going to like fully dive into, I would have to say, like the basic research I think. I know I should, but I feel like I can start back with this video again, make some notes. If I ask some questions, go look something up. She explains things very well, but just to be able to say, okay, yeah, that is what she said, because you know, after a while, pause, play, pause, play. It's a little easier on a computer, right? So just make notes and go from there. If you decide to research that, the menopause, especially when it comes to the weight gain part, let me know. Okay, if you happen to know, no, it wasn't my thyroid, no, I wasn't overeating, no, I didn't change my eating, like start to eat more, even though I wasn't overeating, you know, I just increased how many meals I ate. I wasn't doing that. I work out 3 times a week. I do sit-ups, crunches, walking the treadmill, the incline. That's a good idea. Walking the treadmill, I think, is cardio. And, you know, I was just my normal routine. And then the weight thing, it was more just hot flashes. Hopefully not, because there were some pretty serious things that she said that could happen. Maybe not so much in peri as within that year of menopause and versus the post. Okay, so I like the fact that it's sectioned off, and she talks about the possible things, I don't know if you want to call them symptoms, she didn't go into all 70, but she touched on some key things in each stage. Okay, so if you want to watch it and tell me your input on it, what do you think? It's all up to you. All right, so let's go over these notes. Let's do another time check. I think I'm good on water. Let's see if I can keep my beanie in my head. Yesterday I took it off. We're 27 minutes, 35 seconds. And let's see. Okay, so notes for today, again, which is February 3rd, day 364. All right, so day 358 was January 28th, was a Sunday, and I started at 8:11 a.m., speed 2.3. Day 359 was January 29th, which was Monday. I started at 6:40 a.m. Haven't started that early in a while. Speed was 2.3. Day 360 was January 30th. That was a Tuesday, and I was busy. So I marked day 251, October 13th, 2023, which was a Friday, and it was walk 3. Okay, there's no video. Okay, so before I move on, I will say, I know last week I told you guys I was going to tell you, did I have videos for those other days I listed during Thanksgiving week? Okay, well, actually, no, we're way past that. I'm sorry. Let me correct that. During the, I guess you can say, week that we were in Vegas, right, in January. Okay, so after looking at my notes, there were no videos. Okay, so I was able to mark that day where I walked like the 8 walks. I think said it was a total of like 320 minutes nonstop. I started from one of those extra days, the bank days, and started marking off walk 2, walk 3, so on and so forth. And so there was nothing so far as like a video for that week. Okay, so let's see here, where are we at? Day 360 was January 30th. And no, I'm sorry, we're day 361. Still I was busy, and I marked day 52, October 14th, 2023, Saturday, walk 2. There was no video for walk 2, okay? Because remember Saturday, obviously today is Saturday, is my recording day. Okay, so I walked and recorded the first walk, and then I walked twice after that, I believe. Let me go over here to this page to confirm that. Okay, so day 362 was February 1st, 2024, obviously, and I marked day 252, October 14th, 2023. Like I said, was Saturday. Mark, that's his walk, not Mark. Trying to remember ready. That was walk 3, like I said, and there was no video for walk 3. Okay, so I was right. Day 363, February 2nd, 2024, was yesterday, was Friday. And I started at 11:31 a.m. I walked the speed, like I said, 2.4. So for about a week, maybe a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, you can hear my breathing is a little heavier because I'm walking a little faster today. I will stick with that, and I'll see. We happen to know from experience 2.6, and this thing is not having it, right? So I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna try and get this thing up to that speed or faster, because my goal was to get to 3, right? Or back to 3. And if you don't know, this treadmill, the motor on it is bigger than the motor on the treadmill that's over there that you can't see, that I started my walk with. So a slower speed is a lot faster on this treadmill. And if it's not a lot, it's enough of a noticeable difference. Plus, this is incline at 15, and that one wasn't. I thought it was. And now I can see the obvious difference. I just went off of the specifications of a treadmill that was similar to my first treadmill. And so I really thought I was at 15 incline, and I wasn't. My bad. Okay, so I am now. Trust me, okay? My ring light little tripod part is up kind of high. I thought, if you guys can see the ceiling, the corner of behind me, then you can see all of me. So I had to really lift up my tripod. So yeah, believe me, we are at 15 incline, you guys. And so yeah, but my weight goal is still 150. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I think at one point in the video, she did mention that she gained, I think she said like 10 pounds of muscle weight from walking on the treadmill at an incline. And so that kind of put me at ease about the fact that I have gained a little bit more than 10 pounds. Okay, and seeing as how I'm noticing, like I said, if I get bloated, I'm not bloated as long. I am slimming down. You guys know I have this outfit that I bought, this jumpsuit outfit. It's really cute, and I bought it and never wore it. Before I could wear it anywhere, I got bigger and couldn't fit it. So I tried that on the other day. The plan is to wear it at a special event, and I ordered some boots for it. I don't know if I mentioned those boots with a bow on them, but no go. Let's see, the seller wrote me back and said that it would take the manufacturer a year to make the boots. So they're not happening. But what I did find was one of the shark boots, I thought about wearing the wedge boots with it, but I'm gonna have to try the Sotos, as if that's much better, right? Because the wedge boots, the shark boots, as you know, get skinnier towards the back. It's not like a typical wedge. And so I ordered these little things to go inside for a cushion. I'm going to see from foot pedals, something close to that. And I'm going to see if they help. But the stilettos, I tried those on. They're 4 inches of a heel. And I noticed my jumpsuit doesn't open on the side of the legs. It opens in the front. And I guess I didn't know because I never tried it on with anything tall enough to get the full length of the outfit. And so it kind of does like this triangle type effect to where it opens up, like I said, from the front and not the side. And so I thought, oh, the boots with the bow on them, you wouldn't be able to see the bow anyway. The split is up as high as I thought. So I would need at least something that would go up to, well, we'll say actually, no it's not. I thought I would need knee-high boots, and I would actually only need like calf-high boots. Something not too much taller than that. If I didn't want any of my legs to show, if I don't want to wear open-toe sandals or something like that, you know, like I said, the heel would have to be at least 4 inches so that the outfit literally is not dragging on the floor. So that's what I discovered. So I did start looking for some other boots because the stilettos, as you know, are over the knee. And I thought, depending on the time of year this event's going to take place, it might be a little too hot for that. So it would be nice. This material is thick but not too thick if I could find boots that were shorter. And so that's my goal. But if not, my backup is stiletto shark boots. And yes, the locks are on there, but I'm hoping that the pants leg flares enough to where it won't matter that the locks are on there. Because on the stilettos, I can't take the locks off. They are dupes, or they are a dupe. They're not a replica. And so the lock comes off on my replica, which is the wedge shark boots. And so I'm thinking it should be okay with me walking around, but I would prefer to find something 4 inches, even though I don't prefer the 4-inch heel part. That's not something that's easy for me to walk in anymore, but I would prefer to find something that's shorter. So yeah, I haven't worn open-toe shoes in a long time. I kind of plan on starting. So yeah, and I have a feeling, oh, we're doing good. I was saying I thought we were over. We're at 36 minutes, 45 seconds. And I'll do the calories and the distance before I stop the treadmill. But yeah, so I did have a video that I wanted to watch today, but I thought, no, it's kind of an interesting topic. At least I thought it was kind of interesting. So I'll just talk about it on my walk and talk today, and then I can just watch the video tomorrow. I'm definitely going to eat. Okay, so what's in store for lunch? I have a choice between two things. I'm going to try, well, the leftovers from last night aren't a lot, now that I think about it, but I have options. I'll just put it that way. I have a couple of hot wings. That sauce is spicy, super spicy. You need water right there. I mean, in arm's reach, okay? That sauce, there is some chicken rolls. There might only be one left, I think. And then I had, bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers. There should be some of those left. And then lemon pepper boneless wings. You guys know I prefer boneless chicken over bone-in. I call bones interruptions. And so that is going to be my lunch. What am I going to pick from that? Because I plan on sharing. My husband brought home some popcorn. You guys, these bags of popcorn are this big. They are 99 cents at this store here in town. It is some of the best popcorn I've ever tasted in my life. So if I'm going to sit with him and watch a movie, if he watches another one, 'cause I think he's watching one right now, then maybe I'll eat some popcorn, which means my lunch won't be, or you might consider it dinner by then. It won't be as heavy. But yeah, overall, I would probably have to say Let's see if I have enough time. I do, half a minute. Okay, so I am happy with the results so far as the fact, I mean, my jumpsuit just zipped right up. I mean, the zipper starts all the way down here at the waistline kind of, and zips up, and it just sits up so easy. And I plan on not being able to fit that jumpsuit again. Okay, because it's really unique, it's very pretty. It's black and white, I love the color, I love the whole little bow type thing in the front. It's not one that has like hanging part like when you tie a bow, but it does make like a bow shape somewhat. I don't know if that makes any sense, like crosses over. I thought that was pretty unique. This part's white with the V-neck, and then here down is black. And it's really, really cute. So I'm looking forward to being able to wear it. And maybe I'll take some pictures for a short video. And the size. Okay, so if I'm wrong, I will correct myself next week. If I make a video next week, it's either a size 14 or a 16. I believe, don't quote me on this until I actually look at it and confirm, but for now we're gonna say it's a size 14. Okay, and I'm happy about that, you guys, because you guys know I was up to the 18 and the 20 mark in shirts. I was like, what, 20, 22? So overall, if you're wondering, okay, so I talked about this, I'll talk about this briefly. Overall, before the walk, I started off at about 189, 190. And so I got all the way down to 156.3. And then I went up that 10 or 12 pounds. Okay, but still from 190 to 167.1. And I started February 2nd of last year. I would have to say that's pretty good. Like I said, from January to February, I lost, I would have to say 5 pounds or something, maybe a little bit more. I didn't do anything, I don't know how. It was so cold, it was too cold to do anything except for be up here, and I didn't have this yet. I had that one, but we didn't really use it, honestly. Let me go ahead and stop this. 41 minutes, 28 seconds. We'll do a credit. I always do a credit. And if I remember, I use a credit the next day. So the next walk is shorter than 40 minutes. Okay, so yeah. Plus the thing is, this weekend's bothering me anyway. But yeah, so anyway. I started off, I had to correct my weight. I was holding my cell phone, and I always say this, but if you have a Z Fold 2, you know it's really heavy with the case. And so I had no other way. Really, I thought there's a screw that's not in my ring light. And when I put it back in, the other screw on the other side comes out. And so I thought, I don't want to tilt it, because that happened after I tilted and then pulled it back up. And so I didn't want to put my phone on the ring light and then try to record my weight, right? I was recording the whole walk journey that I started, right? So I was holding the phone. So yeah, the day one you're gonna see, it's gonna say like 178.3, and I corrected it on like day 4 or 5 or something like that to 178.1. Okay, so the cell phone holding it didn't add too much weight, but I wanted it to be fair weight. Okay, and so back then I was with Amada, and so my weight was being sent to the Amada app every single time I stepped on the scale. And then after a while, I forgot that the membership was only for a year. It was through our insurance, and so it just ended. And then I thought, oh, okay, well, I'm not gonna pay $20 to be able to monitor it. I'm gonna have to make sure I make better notes than what I already was making and write down my weight every time and have it like right there, because once it's gone, it's gone. It doesn't send anything anywhere. And so, yeah, so from 178 down to, we'll call it, like I said, 167.1, which was today. It's pretty good. And I mean, on one hand, I am kind of sad that I didn't continue to decrease. It seemed like every time I said, I need to lose 5 more pounds, like I'm motivated now more so than what I was. And whenever I would say that, like I would lose like 5 more pounds, remember that? And then after a while, like I said, my weight just went up, and like I said, muscle weight and whatever else is the reason, I'm back up from 156.3 to 167.1. Okay, so if I were to try to do the math, I'm looking at this number here. That's about 13 to 14 pounds, right? That I think I went up. Because, yeah, 160. Well, wait a second. I said 156.3. I switched the number before and after the decimal. 156.3. Okay, so yeah, let me look at that again, actually. Let's see, let's calculate here for a second. Let's math a little bit here. Let's see. That would be like 156.3. A little over 10 pounds. Okay. That's why I was thinking. I was like, wait a second, I didn't gain that much more weight. So I'm right at that mark. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see. We have a whole another year. We're not at a year until tomorrow. Oh, by the way, one more thing. I made notes yesterday. I should have wrote them on these notes today before I started recording, but it shows I have 10 bank days left. Okay, so like I said, 10 days left that I can mark for days in the future that I'm not going to be able to walk. Okay, or if I could walk, I can't record. And plus, if the treadmill doesn't incline at 15, still can't do it anyway, right? Even if I have access to a treadmill. So yes, I do have 10 more days. So if we look at it that way, I said each walk was a day. That's the way I look at it for my challenge. So in that sense, I'm past a year by 9 days, roughly speaking, right? But if we look at just a day-to-day basis, tomorrow will make a year. But like I said, if you think about the fact that I have those 10 extra walks left, and then come to think of it, I actually had like 20 something extra walks, almost 30 something extra walks. So in that sense, I actually have to say I'm like well past a year if we were to go off of how many extra walks I've walked already up to this point. So it all depends on how you look at it. I mean, you can look at it both ways. You can calculate it both ways. It both kind of makes sense to a certain degree depending on how you look at it, right? So I would have to say overall, I am happy. At least I think I am going to keep in mind, I'm going to try to take her advice. I think it was good advice, to focus on building up strength, and to make sure that I keep up my muscle mass and stuff like that, being that I'm getting into, my mid 40s and stuff like that. So along with, drinking the water, trying to drink as much as I can. I can't say more because I don't know if it will be more or less. I don't really have anything to gauge it off of now. I used to be able to say, yes, I'm drinking more. And now I can say it's either about the same. It might be a little bit more and not as much as it was before, right? Okay, so eating, like I said, trying to have those 3 meals a day, that didn't work. Y'all know that just totally I bombed on that one, right? So I was just like, well, I just don't really eat a lot. The other thing I will say really quickly, I just thought about that. I know I said one more thing, but I just thought she talked about fasting. Okay, so if you want to know what she had to say about that, then look at that. Remember, I told you guys, my doctor that is working on my immune system with me said, okay, you're fasting, that's okay. And I was like, no, I'm not. Because usually you fast for a reason, right? I said, no, I just don't eat a lot. And so she said something that I usually say, that's not the healthiest way to lose weight. Okay, I know that. And before, I would have to say, when I was back at 135, 140, whatever, back in my, mid 20s, whatever, early 20s, if I wanted to keep myself kind of at that weight, sometimes I would do that. Sometimes it was financial. Sometimes it was just, I thought that's not the healthiest way, but if I don't want to gain a lot more weight, I liked my size that I was wearing. I was like a 5 or a 7, depending on my jeans and stuff like that, the way they were made. And so I was just like, I kind of want to stay there. And so it works. I just wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend fasting for that reason. Okay. If you decide to, you did not get that advice from me. Okay. Like I said, it's not one of the healthiest ways, but it's not really a bad thing. But I know usually when you fast for like an extended period of time, right? It might be like 10 hours or something, or 16 or whatever, or 15 or whatever. But me, I just naturally don't eat a lot, to the point where my doctor thought I was fasting. And no matter, even though I kept saying I wasn't fasting, he kept saying, it's okay that you're fasting. I'm like, I'm not fasting. But I guess his point was like, you don't really have to have a reason. If you have an eating pattern like mine, it's considered fasting. So yeah, but I'm going to go. Oh, I forgot. Okay, I'll remember next time. I didn't read the distance. I didn't read the calories. I just stopped this thing and it reset. It always resets when I push stop. So yeah, we're not going to know those numbers. Oops. But I will see you guys later. I hope you guys have a great week. Like I said, I hope that your workout is going well. And if you're right around my age, and you're thinking, she's right. I didn't really just sit there thinking about that driving one day, like, oh, am I or peri, whatever, menopause? Like, but it's interesting now that I kind of brought it up, then I would say just go take a look at that video that I watched, and if you have that amount of time, or if you want to break it up, whatever you want to do, because it's like an hour, about 25 minutes. It's interesting, I thought. Okay, so you may not agree, but it's definitely something to take into consideration considering my age. And yeah, I mean, I can say, oh, everyone's different, but there's a baseline, I think, for people in general, right? And so, like, everyone gets told to drink a lot of water, to exercise, things like that. That's something that, keep your weight down. That's something that in general, like the mass majority of people are told, right? So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. Do I research it? Do I take the notes? Do I look more into it? Do I end up contacting her? And if I do, what happens next? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do that, but I definitely will keep that in my mind or whatever, because my doctors definitely are saying, okay, well, you're this age, so now we're supposed to start doing this and testing your blood in this. I mean, they're really cracking down on me, you guys. So I'm kind of happy because I need that from that point. I can do my part on my end, and they're doing their part on their end. So we're kind of working together, and I'm really happy about that. It's working out pretty well. But I'm going to see you guys later. I'm going to get in here and go get cleaned up and eat and see what is going on. I might take a little peek outside, even though it's super, super windy, as you guys probably saw from the light changing and stuff like that. It is actually sunny outside. It's not completely cloudy. And so it's really pretty. But of course, I probably wouldn't sit outside right now because of the high winds. So with that said, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, enjoy the rest of your week, the rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy. Just enjoy life. Bye.